The movie begins in the late 80s when a gang of outlaws arrives at the town of Sweetwater. The gang is led by Blackjack Brittain, flanked by his loyal right-hand man, Gavin Cutty, Kevin's young newfie Sonny Dillard. Kevin scolds Sonny, urging him to behave more seriously. Blackjack then orders the gang to prepare for a bank robbery. As the gang storms into the bank, leaving Sonny outside to keep watch, Blackjack threatens to tell the woman and orders him to open the safe. When the man insists that he doesn't know the combination, Blackjack shoots him in the finger and forces him to obey. While outside, Sonny sees a prostitute named Dolly Sloan, whom he recognizes from one of his favorite serial novels. Excited, he shows her the book and asks for her autograph. Their conversation is interrupted by the arrival of the cavalry. A member of the gang quickly alerts Blackjack and the gang rushes to secure the loot. In the chaos, a customer tries to draw his gun and Blackjack kills him, triggering a shootout with the cavalry. As bullets fly, Sonny sees that Dolly has been hit. He rushes to her side, but she dies in his arms. Sonny joins the other in their escape. Along the way, he helps a wounded member of the gang, Badger, who is Blackjack's brother. Despite his injuries, Badger insists that he can continue. Meanwhile, Blackjack realizes that the police are closing in quickly, so he orders the gang to ride through the night. The next day, Badger collapses from blood loss and falls from his horse. As the rest of the gang continues on, he begs Sonny to end his suffering. Although Sonny has never killed anyone before, he reluctantly agrees to Badger's final request and frees him from his agony. Just then, a burst of gunfire is heard from the cliff above them. A chase ensues as the gang tries to escape. During the shootout, a bullet hits the horse carrying the stolen money. Forced to leave the money behind, the gang flees and the police eventually gives up the chase. They escape into a sandstorm and discover a tunnel leading to a lush green valley. There, they meet a Native American near the misty entrance that leads to a small town called Refugee. When the gang enters town, the residents react with chaos and surprise. The sheriffs greets them and Blackjack lies, claiming that they are cowboys who have been attacked by Apache and need help. The sheriff welcomes them warmly, offering medical care for the wounded, free drinks at the saloon and lodging at the hotel until they recover. When Blackjack asks to use the telegraph to contact the alleged owner of the cattle, the sheriff calmly explains the refugee has no communication with the outside world. He then orders his deputy to escort the gang to the hotel and ask a woman named Ruth to take the wounded to the doctor. Before leaving, the sheriff kindly reminds them to not use the foul language in town, except in the saloon. At the saloon, Blackjack has a strange feeling. He feels like he's seen the town sheriff before, but he can't remember where. Elsewhere, Ross takes the wounded to the town doctor. While treating Sonny's gunshot wound, the doctor feels a strange sense of familiarity. He's sure he's seen the doctor before, but he can't remember where. Meanwhile, at the grocery store, the town doctor meets privately with the sheriff, his deputy, the store owner, and the local farmer. He shows them the bullet he extracted from the wounded. The sheriff knows that the few Native Americans use 45 caliber bullets and suspects that the newcomers are not cattlemen, as they claim. However, he hopes they will leave without causing any trouble. The deputy disagrees and would like to drive them away by force, but the rest of the group sides with the sheriff, preferring to avoid the conflict. At the saloon, Sonny rejoins the gang. As the sun sets, church bells ring through the town, attracting the attention of the gang. They watch all the townspeople heading toward the church. After the service, Sonny approaches Rose and shyly confesses that he likes her. Their moment is interrupted when Kevin, drunk, stumbles and orders Sonny to take Rose to the saloon, calling her a prostitute. Sonny refuses and defends her, but Kevin knocks him down. Kevin then tries to drag Rose away, but the sheriff intervenes. Just as Kevin is about to shoot the sheriff, Sonny knocks him out. Sonny then asks if Kevin should be arrested, but the sheriff replies that the town has no jail. After the sheriff and Rose leave, Blackjack confronts Sonny to ask him what happened. Sonny lies, saying that Kevin simply passed out from drinking too much. The next morning, the sheriff sends Sonny to tell Blackjack that he wants to talk to him. After the sheriff leaves, Sonny lives through one of his serial novels and suddenly realizes that the sheriff looks exactly like Wild Bill Hickok, the legendary gunslinger killed in 1976 during a poker game. Later, Blackjack meets the sheriff, who offers him a cup of coffee. The sheriff brings up Kevin's behavior toward Rose the night before and asks Blackjack to have a word with him. Blackjack, suspicious, asks who knocked Kevin out, wondering if it was someone from town. The sheriff calmly replies that he didn't see anyone and suggests that Kevin may have simply passed out from drinking too much. Intrigued, Blackjack then asks why a sheriff doesn't carry a gun. The sheriff simply replies, "We never needed one." Meanwhile, Kevin and Sonny visit the general store. While Sonny chats with the owner, he's struck by how familiar the man looks. He resembles Jesse James, the notorious outlaw betrayed and killed by his own gang in 1882. While the shop owner is distracted and denies the resemblance, Kevin quickly slips the stolen ammunition into his coat. After they leave, Kevin returns to the saloon and distributes the ammunition to the rest of the gang. Tiring of pretending to be civil, Blackjack orders his men to cause trouble. The gang begins racing through town on horseback and firing their guns wildly. Some even start throwing knives at the church door. In the chaos, the sheriff approaches Blackjack and asks him to keep his men under control, but Blackjack brushes him off. The sheriff then calmly takes a position in front of the church door and politely asks the men to stop throwing knives. They ignore him. Two blades fly close to his face, but he doesn't flinch. When a third member of the gang deliberately aims to wound him, lightning suddenly strikes him, killing him. As it begins to rain heavily, the gang remains silent. The body is silently recovered by the Indian who guards the misty border of the valley. That night, Sonny falls asleep outside the church while waiting for Rose. He is suddenly awakened by the sound of an approaching stagecoach. The townspeople came out of the church to welcome a new arrival. Dolly, the prostitute who died in Sonny's arm at the beginning of the film, is alive and well. The coachman hands a white flower to the sheriff and tells him it's time to pack up. He will return home on Sunday at noon. The next day, Sonny finds the sheriff shoving Dolly around town. Convinced that she died in his arms in Sweetwater, he confronts her, but Dolly denies everything and insists that her name is Evie. After they leave, Sonny follows the town doctor and confronts him from behind, pretending to pull out a gun. The doctor reacts immediately with quick reflexes despite being unarmed. Sonny accuses him of being Doc Holliday, the legendary gunslinger who was believed to have died of tuberculosis in 1897, but the doctor calmly denies it. Sonny then confirms his suspicion about the others. In town, Blackjack's men continue to wreak havoc. The sheriff finally addresses Blackjack by his real name and calmly orders the gang to leave. Furious, Blackjack tries to shoot the sheriff but fails to hit him. Shocked, Blackjack loses his nerve and retreats, ordering his men to enter the saloon. However, Kevin prevents Sonny from entering. Determined, Sonny sneaks in through the back door and listens to the brutal plan. They intend to destroy the town and kill anyone who gets in their way. Kevin also reveals his perverse intention to attack Rose. Alarmed, Sonny rushes to find her. He finds Rose swimming alone at the lake. After she gets dressed, Sonny notices a scar on her neck and realizes that it must be connected to her death. She was the first woman to be hanged in Arizona. Her real name is Betty McCallum, and she was executed for killing her father, who had abused her since she was 12 years old. Betty confesses that she has a feeling for Sonny, but insists that they cannot be together. Sonny begins to understand that the shelter is sanctuary for the dead. The criminals are given out last chance at redemption. Sonny tells Betty about Blackjack's and Kevin plans to destroy the town. That night, Sonny joins the townspeople in the church and begs them to defend themselves. Finally, the residents reveal the truth. The shelter is a kind of purgatory. If they can live 10 years without succumbing to the sins of the past, they will earn a place in heaven. Confronting the violence would mean risking everything. They fear that fighting back will cause them to fall back into sin and lose the chance at redemption. Frustrated, Sonny rushes out of the church but is attacked by Blackjack and Paven. The two beat him savagely until he passes out. When Sonny regains consciousness, he believes for a moment that he's dead and even hopes so, wishing only to be with Betty. But when he comes to his senses, he understands the situation the villagers are in and decides to face Blackjack gang alone to protect them. The church bells ring, calling the villagers. Most of them enter, but 4 legendary figures, Wild Bill Hickok, Doc Holliday, Jesse James, and Billy the Kid, step forward to stand by Sonny, moved by his courage and selflessness. A brutal shootout breaks out. One by one, Blackjack's men fall. Kevin manages to shoot Sonny, but Sonny returns fire and kills him. Despite his mortal wound, Sonny feels no pain and does not die. Blackjack arrives ready to duel Hickok, but this time he's outmatched. As Blackjack begins to accept the truth about where he is, he murmurs, "I guess I'm one of you now." Hickok replies coldly, "I wouldn't count on it," and finishes him off. The guard silently carries the lifeless body of Kevin and Blackjack through the fog toward the Fury Abyss. The driver announces that because they were willing to sacrifice their own safety to protect the others, they have earned a place in heaven. As the other climb aboard the stagecoach, Sonny asks to stay with Rose. Hitchcock nods sympathetically and hands him the sheriff's badge. The stagecoach departs, climbing toward the light.